All right, this is the Facing Fiction podcast. We're missing Noah today, but we have a new member. If you want to introduce
New
yourself.
addition.
Hello,
Yeah.
I'm Andrew.
And today we're going to be talking about our most anticipated or just movies that we just want to discuss that are coming out this year.
Yep. All right. We'll start with one that is actually already out.
Yeah, and that would be, I'm just going to call it Scream 5, but, I guess the real name for it is just Scream. And I'd say out of, all the Scream movies that came before, the only one that I really care for and think is actually pretty good is the first one. But, I still have yet to see this movie, but, it's getting good reviews, and check it out.
I'm actually surprised because I was not impressed with the trailers.
Oh, neither
for
was
this
I.
one.
They didn't look good.
I mean, I've seen probably each one maybe just a handful of times, if that. Scream 3 is probably my least favorite.
It's an awful movie, I think.
I think most people would agree that that's the weakest one. I remember liking Scream 4, but I'm really not a huge Scream fan. But
And the second one was, not a halfway bad sequel, but,
I do really like that first one, though.
Oh,
That
yeah.
original, I
first one.
actually forgot how good.
But, that
original
was it was still 25 years ago.
Yeah. A movie that I think might be coming in February to Netflix, I believe, is a new Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And the reason I paired these two together is because they both fit within a trend we've seen recently with particularly horror movies. It's these legacy sequels that have been coming out. I think it was Halloween 2018 that started this trend.
It really doesn't make any sense. A sequel to a movie that goes by the same name.
But we've seen this trend where a movie comes out, 30, 40 years after the original, particularly these horror movies, and they keep the same title just so they can make it confusing for us. And they usually bring back an old character from the original. Halloween, of course, brought Laurie Strode. This Scream brought everybody, Dewey and his girlfriend and
Courtney Cox?
yeah. And apparently this new Texas Chainsaw, even though it's bringing the Sally character back, who was the final survivor of the original, but of course the actress who played her died just a few years ago, so it's going to actually be a different actress.
As we like to call these people, the experts.
Yeah, you need to call in the experts.
The Leatherface expert, Laurie Strode, the Michael Myers expert.
Right. And this movie apparently is, I think it's being produced by Fede Alvarez, who did the Evil Dead remake. And,
really?
I think so, yeah. I know he's involved somehow. But it's set in the modern day, so Leatherface is going to be 70 years old, running around with that chainsaw again.
Yeah, I think honestly, it's time to move on from Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
And I feel like that's a topic to be brought up because the internet is constantly making a joke about how they're always trying to bring back the past to appeal to the generation that once loved.
Right.
That's the only audience. But there's times where you kind of just need to move on or re-innovate. You don't need to just keep feeding.
Well, especially with this franchise.
Because the remake with Jessica Biel was great, honestly. Almost just as good as the original, one could argue.
But this franchise has been beaten to hell, honestly. It's been rebooted several times. We got a movie like this one already with Texas Chainsaw 3D. And, of course we know how that turned out. So I'm ready for this franchise to be retired, especially because I'm a huge fan of it, and I really hate to see it not be as great as it, I guess, could be. But
Okay, well, so moving on, what are your guys' thoughts on Uncharted coming out next month?
I never played the games, so I'm really not familiar with Uncharted that much.
But years ago, I played the first 3 games, and, I had a blast with those games, and the thing to me is, I think this movie could go either way. It looks like it could be decent and could have some fun, but honestly, I thought it was funny because I always thought Mark Wahlberg would make a great Nathan Drake, but for some reason, that they got him in the movie, but he's Sully.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know how I really feel about Tom Holland as Nathan Drake either.
I played all the games, and I could totally see Tom Holland as a young Nathan, or maybe his older brother when he was younger, but as Nathan Drake himself just doesn't have that look to him that he's seen shit. He's going through it,
Well, I think why they did it is because they're expecting a franchise. So if you get the characters young, you can have sequels, and then they kind of flesh into who they're supposed to be.
And that's the thing too, is it feels like they're actually using some of the story that they put from the games, but they're also bringing some new things into it as well.
Right. Yeah.
So they could expand on the universe of Uncharted if they wanted to, and perhaps maybe they'll create more games too afterwards.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Right.
But
Video game movies in general aren't promising.
Yeah.
They've not been the best.
Yeah, honestly, I'd say all in all, it's a movie that I'm kind of unsure of how to feel. But, I'm definitely going to check it out because I was such a big fan of, the
Games.
first 3 games. And I think Tom Holland, he's always entertaining. And I love Mark Wahlberg. So I'll give it the benefit of the doubt. And I'll check it out when it comes out.
yeah.
And one that you wanted to talk about, Andrew, was the new Jackass movie. I can't say I know much about at all.
I mean, I've just grown up watching Jackass. It's always been a thing in my family. But the relationships between some of the people, the members of Jackass, like the fallout with Bam Margera and his drug abuse, alcohol abuse, and how that's affected his relationship with Jackass. There's even ongoing drama of him constantly going on social media and talking about, like, just feuding with them.
Oh.
There's the member that passed away, Ryan Dunn, who won't be in it. But so
Obviously.
they're bringing in this new generation to kind of like push, like, hey, Jackass isn't us. It's just this idea.
Oh,
Like
okay.
Machine Gun Kelly.
And you're getting people like, there's a huge Instagram star. I'm sure he's on other social medias as well. But Zach Ass, he just does
Zach
Jackass type stunts. Very well known for getting hit in the nuts. One of
Jesus.
Odd Futures, members,
Oh, really?
Jasper.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's joining. So, like, it'll be interesting to kind of see how they move on with this, and especially like with Loiter Squad, taking Jasper's creativity and pushing it into this as well. I think it'll be interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, I've only seen, I think, one Jackass. I think it was the third one. So
Right, that sounds about right. That's the one that came out when we were kids that was, in the movie theaters. So that's about all the exposure I have, but that does sound interesting.
I mean, I'm sure it'll be entertaining.
Oh, yeah.
Just people getting hit in the
Oh
nuts.
yeah, it's just classic.
What do you of
Stupid
course,
fun.
you're not going to get Citizen Kate out of
Yeah.
something like Jackass.
Well, one that we want to bring up briefly was the new Roland Emmerich movie coming out called Moonfall. And it was
Roland
funny
Emmerich.
because we were just, not too long ago, just hanging out watching his Godzilla movie. And we, as everyone knows, he loves just disaster movies. And I'm going to be honest, I find 2012 and Day After Tomorrow, they can be entertaining, but those movies make me anxious. Just
Yeah.
so many people dying
Yeah.
and just so much destruction. I mean, great special effects, but I get anxious watching those
Well,
movies.
I'm surprised he's doing this so long that he has. I mean, decades he's been making these disaster movies. You'd think he'd get a little bored of this and
Yeah.
want to try something new.
Yeah,
So-
usually you see like directors start stepping their foot in other things. And,
Yeah.
pushing to different directions. They don't always want to be known for this specific movie or topic.
Well, that could be why he hasn't stepped out.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I think people expect this kind of stuff out of him.
That's,
So-
I guess he's good at it.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But
Might
anyways.
be good at it. Might not.
Moving on, I mean, how could we have this list without talking about, the Batman?
Yeah.
Oh.
So I think this probably is my most anticipated of the year.
That's fair to say. I mean, it's a toss-up for me. I definitely think it has potential of being the best movie for me that comes out this year. I'm going to be honest. I doubted this movie when the news was coming out about Robert Pattinson as the star and just not being involved in the DCU, but every single trailer and the new clip that recently had come out for the movie is just, I'm eating my words. I definitely think this movie is going to be something special, and I think it will hold a light to Chris Nolan's trilogy. And I just can't wait, honestly.
Yeah, the score just released. Badass score, honestly. It sounds very Burton-esque.
Right.
It just sounds like a Batman theme
Yeah.
that would come out. I think Robert Pattinson looks great as Batman. Like, the suit looks great. I think he'll kill it. Robert Pattinson's a really good actor. I love what they're doing with Riddler. Like, that Zodiac design, how he's like a serial killer. Like, they're updating the character. I know some people are upset by this. We got the goofy Riddler with Jim Carrey with Batman Forever, so I'm down for a different take.
Oh, and
on the
also, I
character.
think Matt Reeves has proven himself because not too long ago, I just rewatched Let Me In the American version of Let the Right One In, and I think that's definitely one of the better American adaptations of a foreign film. And just obviously with all the trailers, it's it's Batman, it's the dark and gritty route, but he's had a great reputation for this kind of genre.
Mm-hmm. And I love the cast overall. I love who they got for Gordon. I love Zoe Kravitz, who's Catwoman. I think she looks great. So just everything. I don't think I have a single thing about this movie that I don't like so far coming up.
I haven't been disappointed what I've seen so far.
I love the marketing, just the posters they've been releasing, just everything about it. And it's almost 3 hours long. I don't mind that. I will sit for 3 hours for something like this. Yeah.
And, another movie coming out would be Morbius that has been delayed probably just as many times as the Batman. How are you guys feeling about this one?
Well, it's been delayed to April Fool's Day. Not a great start right there. I don't really care for the Morbius character. I don't really know that much about him. I don't know if many people were clamoring for this movie. I mean, I love Jared Leto.
Oh, yeah.
And anything he does, but...
And I'm going to be honest, it seems like it's connected to that Venom universe, which I really am not big on those Venom movies at all, even though I do love Tom Hardy and, like I said, I love Jared Leto, but I don't know if I necessarily have faith in this movie. I mean, I'm going to check it out because obviously it's connected to some iteration of Spider-Man from what's been shown in the trailers. To me, it kind of seems like they don't even know what universe it's in.
Yeah, because we've seen Michael Keaton, but we've seen like the Daily Bugle from the Raimi movies, and then they've referenced Venom, and they've made references to The Amazing Spider-Man, so I don't know where this falls. Who knows? Honestly, this is one of those movies where I don't really know what to expect going into it, which could be a good thing, could be a bad thing. I don't know.
Yeah. It's all over the place.
Well, and another one that I just want to briefly touch on was the new Michael Bay movie Ambulance. I'm not expecting anything wonderful out of this, but the trailer, it looked entertaining to me. Jake Gyllenhaal has a great screen presence. I'm not expecting it to be in my favorite movies of the year, but it looks like a fun kind of just turn your brain off action movie, which, every once in a while, those are fun for me.
I mean, I like that Michael Bay is trying these new things, stepping away from the explosions of the Transformers franchise. So, because I know he did, what was that movie with The Rock and Mark Wahlberg?
Pain and Gain.
Pain and Gain. And then he did that one with John Krasinski, didn't he? The 13
hours, yeah.
So he's trying to, I think, separate himself from those Transformer movies.
Right.
But, yeah, like you said, though, Jake Gyllenhaal is one of my favorites, too. So there's at least that going for it.
Yeah, and, are either of you guys big Sonic fans? Because the sequel to Sonic comes out this year as well.
Yeah, I didn't see the original.
Me and Andrew, we saw the original. Andrew, have you played any of the Sonic games?
Yeah, I played quite a few of the Sonic games. It doesn't look terrible, to be honest.
I thought the trailer was ridiculously hype. Like,
what did you think of the first one?
It was good. I wish they would release the original Sonic cut.
His original design.
that would be a great release. But
yeah,
I mean, it's for kids.
Oh yeah,
as
definitely.
simple as that.
Well, and the
it's
thing
not
is,
a bad introduction. It's not that TV show they did.
Oh yeah.
I haven't played any of the Sonic games, but when I saw the trailer for the first time, I remember in the theater, I remember thinking like, gosh, if I did know like all the lore and stuff behind Sonic, I'd probably be super excited. They made that trailer way more exciting than they needed to for a Sonic movie.
I will admit, Jim Carrey as Eggman looks really good. Like,
it's not bad.
Yeah, I think that was a really good choice.
I feel
to
like
use him.
It was always going to be like him or Danny DeVito. That was like the given.
Oh, right.
I think the one thing, I don't know if that first one was like this, but remember that trend where they would take live action things and put them in the real world? They did it with like the Smurfs, they did it with Garfield, and I noticed that first Sonic was kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
I hate that trend. I don't know why they do that. Like, couldn't we have just gotten an animated Sonic movie?
Yeah,
you know?
Right.
Honestly.
But I heard the first one was good, so
I like the voice actor, Ben Schwartz.
Yeah, and Tails is actually being voiced by the the actress who plays her in the game.
Oh.
Plays it.
Yeah,
I
that
don't
would
know
be
if
great.
Tails is a male or female. I don't know. But
Right.
poop.
Okay, and then the next movie that we want to touch on that I, can confidently say I don't know anything about would be the next Fantastic Beasts movie.
Yeah, so I've never seen a Harry Potter movie, admittedly. I know that may be sad for some, but I have seen the first. Well, I've seen both Fantastic Beasts movies, and I remember liking the first one. I thought it was a pretty solid movie, and I was actually kind of excited for the sequel. And I'm just gonna be honest, it was really boring. I think I fell asleep twice in the theater actually watching it.
I've seen Harry Potter. I enjoy the franchise. I haven't read the books.
Yeah.
But I saw the first Fantastic Beasts, and I enjoyed it up until I saw Johnny Depp, to be honest.
Really?
Just, he stood
Really?
out. The way they made his character look just looked off-putting.
What
And the
was
way
wrong?
he talked, it was so Johnny Depp and not the character.
Oh,
I heard some people were upset with Johnny Depp in that first one, and I obviously didn't understand it because I didn't see those Harry Potter movies, so I didn't understand why people didn't like how he looked.
It just
or
didn't
was.
feel like he was acting. It
Well-
just, you saw him, and that was it.
I guess you won't have to worry about that because he is not coming back for this one.
Right.
He's being replaced with Mads Mikkelsen.
Just unfortunate.
It is, because I don't, like, as I said, even though I don't like him, just the whole situation with him and Amber Heard.
Oh yeah, but you're saying you don't like his version of this character, or are you saying you don't like Johnny Depp?
No, just his version of this character.
Oh.
That was all.
Right. I
Uh,
really like Johnny Depp, and I think it's unfortunate that he's losing these roles. I mean, he lost
Mhm.
Jack Sparrow too for the next Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, he doesn't deserve it. He's a good actor. I mean,
Yeah.
the things he plays it right.
And he has a huge
Jack
fan
Sparrow.
base. People go to these movies for him.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right, and we'll see how this affects the movie because I'm sure it will have, a decent amount to do with how it performs at the box
Mhm.
office. But moving on, we have The Northman.
yeah, so this is Robert Eggers. He did The Witch and The Lighthouse. This is apparently not a horror movie though. As far as I know, it's more of a drama. So
Right.
he's moving away from the horror genre. I wish he would do more horror movies because I love The Witch and The Lighthouse. But I'm intrigued. It's got Willem Dafoe in it actually.
Oh, it does?
Yeah, so it's got Anya Taylor-Joy and it's got Skarsgård. Yeah, one of the Skarsgård brother.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
Well,
it looks intriguing.
to be honest, I don't know anything about this movie. I enjoyed The Lighthouse, and I thought The Witch was a good horror movie, and this is kind of one of those movies that I think I can honestly just go into blind and check out.
Yeah, I really don't know a lot about it. I actually haven't even seen the trailers.
Yeah, and I
so
wouldn't
I
mind
haven't.
keeping it that way.
Yeah.
Honestly. And the next movie is one of the bigger ones on this list, and it would be the Doctor Strange sequel, Multiverse of Madness, directed by Sam Raimi.
There's a lot that could be said about this movie. There's a
There is.
lot of rumors going on.
There's
It seems they are doubling down on the multiverse stuff after No Way Home.
Right. And just Sam Raimi stepping back into like the superhero world,
Mhm.
and I think everybody's very excited to see where they go next with the multiverse after, just everything that was in No Way Home, and the possibilities are just endless with this one.
Yeah, I love Sam Raimi. I'm sure he'll do a good job with it. We've heard rumors of, Tobey Maguire is going to be in it. We've even been hearing about John Krasinski and Emily Blunt apparently being Mr. Fantastic and Sue Storm. So
Mhm.
that'll be interesting. And of course, there's Tom Cruise as an Iron Man variant, Patrick Stewart. Like, everybody at this point is rumored for this movie.
I'm in the movie.
Yeah. And my only worry is that they're focusing too much on the cameos. I hope that
Mhm.
this movie can still stand on its own and still be a good Doctor Strange sequel.
Right. I'm sure they'll balance it, kind of like how they did in Spider-Man No Way Home, even with the addition of all these pre-developed characters and bringing them back. If
Okay.
that is the case if that really is what's going on in this
Well,
movie.
there is a lot going on. Even this American Chavez character, who's a character from the comics, I really don't know a whole lot about her, but I mean, she's in it. So a lot of people, and Wanda's in it too.
and
Let's
evil
not
Doctor
forget.
Strange, which
Yeah, there's like at least 2 variants of Doctor Strange in this movie too. So It's gonna be packed. It's gonna be a packed movie.
Does anyone have anything to say about kind of an odd follow-up with the Bob's Burgers movie?
I didn't even know a Bob's Burgers movie was coming.
Oh, neither did I until just a little bit ago.
It was announced, I think, like a week ago. Or so.
Only a week ago?
Yeah,
okay, so
like,
this
it
is a
wasn't
new
that long
development
ago.
here.
Oh, and it's coming out this year?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Or at least the trailer dropped just like a week ago.
Oh.
But
You know, I'm not a Bob's Burgers fan, so can't say I'm.
I've seen a handful of episodes,
That
and they've
interesting.
always they were always able to get a kick out of me. I like some of the dry humor that's in it, and yeah.
I mean, this
For
stuff
the
can
most
work.
part.
I love the Simpsons movie, so
yeah.
stuff like that it can work if done right. So
I've seen every episode of Bob's
Really?
Burgers. Yeah,
Really?
I have. I do
Oh,
enjoy
wow.
it. It's something Shaylin and I just sit down and watch. We look forward to the next episode. So, yeah, I'm probably going to see this movie in theaters. I'm looking forward to it.
in
I
theaters,
think-
Bob's
Yeah,
Burgers.
the Simpsons movie is a great example of kind of what I'm expecting out of this. Just
Good hope.
a grand performance.
That SpongeBob movie, those come to mind as terms of
Yeah.
great animated movies
Mhm.
from shows.
And I don't know about you guys, but this next one is admittedly a movie that it's a sequel where I haven't seen the original, and it's Top Gun Maverick. But I do plan on watching the original. I know it would be considered a crime to some of you that I haven't seen the original, but Tom Cruise, he's crazy. He loves to entertain us.
Is he flying a jet in this one?
I think so.
Probably.
But
Apparently, Val Kilmer will be in this one. I don't know if you guys are aware of his current health situation. He actually had
yeah.
was it throat cancer or?
Yes, it was a bad beat, definitely. But, I guess we'll see how it goes.
I mean, he's lost his voice, so he really can't act in movies. I mean, he really doesn't have voice. He's been in movies recently, and they've had to dub over him,
Oh.
and he's had to wear a scarf because he's got a hole in his neck. Really unfortunate because he really
Yeah, that sucks.
apparently he's doing better, which is great, but it's just sad to see how his health has declined very rapidly recently. But so he'll be there. I mean, I don't know a lot about Top Gun, but
Yeah, I mean, have you seen the original?
No, I
No,
haven't.
but it's something we'll when it comes around, we'll check out the original, and then we'll go see the
You
next
know.
one.
see what the hubbub's about. Oh, God.
And then the next movie on our list is a pretty big one, very big one, Jurassic World Dominion. What are your guys' thoughts on?
Well, I'm a huge Jurassic Park fan. I mean, I grew up with the original trilogy, and then I really was looking forward to Jurassic World when that came out, and I really enjoy that one.
oh yeah,
Definitely lived up to my hopes of it. But Fallen Kingdom, not so much. I was admittedly very disappointed with that
I
one.
thought it was the weakest link of the franchise, honestly, out of all the movies.
It's pretty obvious that that movie was so that we could get to this one. With
Right,
the
it was-
dinosaurs being just
Its only purpose
everywhere.
Yeah.
kind of felt like it was just to bridge the trilogy. So
No,
I hope this is just a step up to it, a step up from the last movie.
We really haven't heard a lot about this movie. We yet to have a trailer or anything, but we're getting the original cast members. So Sam Neill and Jeff Goldblum.
yeah.
Is he?
Yep.
Oh yeah, he's
Jeff
coming
Goldblum.
back.
And then the actress.
Oh, man.
I'm blanking on her name, but the trio is coming back, which is great. I love Sam Neill in
Laura
those Jurassic.
Dern?
Laura Dern.
Laura
Yeah, that's
Dern.
right.
Sorry.
No, I love Sam Neill in those Jurassic Park movies, so I'm really looking forward to see. And apparently they're not just cameos; like they actually have a big role.
Well, that's
It's
nice
good.
to hear. Hopefully, as long as it's not forced. Hopefully.
Yeah.
But moving on, we've got Black Phone. Is this something that either of you guys know about?
So, I could be wrong, but I think this is the director of Sinister
Oh yeah.
doing this.
Yeah, this trailer,
Scott
honestly, I
Derrickson,
thought,
right?
yeah, Scott Derrickson, who also as well directed the first Doctor Strange movie. I think this movie looks like really, really scary. I think it looks interesting. I definitely want to check it out. Just another horror movie that I'm excited for, and I'm glad that horror seems to be making somewhat of a comeback because there was quite a while there where I just wasn't impressed by the genre.
Yeah, I wasn't as impressed with the trailer. I mean, it looks interesting. I know a lot of people are excited for it. It's got Ethan Hawke in it. He seems to be playing the bad guy in it. So
Have you seen the trailer, Andrew?
I haven't seen the trailer yet. But
Yeah, it looks pretty spooky.
Yeah, we'll just have to see on that one, really.
Okay, and the next Minions movie is
Yeah,
coming
yeah.
out this
I
year.
have some thoughts on the Minions movie. Not that I saw the first
Let me know.
Minions, but this is The Rise of Gru. I have seen the Despicable Me trilogy, and I actually think that series is a bit underrated. I didn't realize this, but Despicable Me 3 made over $1 billion at the box
What?
office. I had no idea
Jeez.
that it did, so it's a huge moneymaker for them. This movie, though,
all those Facebook moms.
I won't lie, I enjoy those Despicable Me movies, especially that first one. It's kind of a just fun franchise I look
Yeah.
forward to. Although I didn't see Minions, but this one has been delayed a million times, and it's finally coming out. So
Okay, well,
we'll have to see for Minions.
Well, Ethan can look forward to that. Moving on, we're also going to be getting Thor: Love and Thunder this year, which in this movie sees the return of Natalie Portman's Jane Foster, who is going to pick up Mjolnir, and it's kind of be the new
Mjolnir.
Mjolnir. Oh,
Yeah, come on.
Get it right. Fake fan.
So she's becoming Thor. That's the big
Yeah.
thing. And of course, this happened in the comics. I didn't read this issue, but I know that she has cancer and she becomes Thor, but I believe she dies by the end of the story. I could be wrong, but I thought that maybe she does eventually
it
die
could
in the
be.
comics from that cancer. But it's a little confusing. I know Odin said, "Who wields the hammer shall hold the power of Thor." But I mean, Thor, that's his name
yeah,
at the end of
it's
the
just
day.
his name. When Odin wielded the hammer, he was still Odin.
Right, when Cap took it, I mean, he was still
Steve
Steve Rogers.
Rogers, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
But
But-
I mean, Christian Bale's going to be in this movie.
yeah,
Isn't-
that's exciting.
and Russell Crowe is in the
Yeah.
a packed
And it's
cast.
Taika Waititi, which Thor Ragnarok, I really liked a lot of it, but
Mhm.
one of my biggest flaws with that movie is like the humor didn't always land.
Yeah, I'd say
Yeah.
the humor didn't always land. I mean, all in all, it was a very fun, colorful, and entertaining movie that was very different from the first two, and
And for many, it revitalized the Thor series
And-
and the
yeah.
Thor character too.
it
yeah.
utilized Chris Hemsworth comedic abilities definitely.
Mhm.
I don't know what they're feeding Marvel actors though. I don't know if you've seen the photos of like Tessa Thompson and Natalie Portman, but they're massive.
And Chris Hemsworth is the biggest he's ever been.
I
he
think
said
they're
in this
definitely
movie.
juicing. So I don't know what they're giving them, but
Who knows?
Okay.
Chris
Yeah.
Pratt?
yeah, they're all.
Oh yeah, and
all of
the
them.
Guardians of the Galaxy are also, they're in this movie too.
Yeah.
And then next up we have the next Jordan Peele movie, Nope. I don't really know much about this at all.
I don't think anyone really knows what this one.
To be honest, Get Out was a movie that I saw one time, and to be honest, I don't think I really got it. But I thought Us was a very entertaining horror movie. I enjoyed it quite a bit.
Well, I'm a bit. So I haven't seen Get Out, and I did see Us though, and I honestly didn't care for it that much. And he produced this Candyman movie that came out recently. I just don't feel like I'm big on Jordan Peele's horror movies. I've been really gravitating towards other directors' recent movies coming out than his, so I can't promise that I'll catch this one as soon as it comes out. But it's got like Stephen Yeun, I believe, is in it, which is
Oh.
kind of interesting.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So, do you have anything? on that?
I mean, yeah. I've seen Get Out and Us, and they're both good. It's not like a horror that you would be jumping out of your seat for.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
just those like think
Little
about
unconventional.
Yeah, more like eerie, creepy
Hmm.
feeling. So like I like that feeling in theaters because it's kind of like, oh shit, when I go home, it's dark in the house.
Oh yeah, it's
What's
always
behind
fun
me?
watching horror movies in the theater.
Those are the ones that get me. So I'm looking forward to it, but I'm not fully expecting much.
I haven't grabbed onto the Jordan Peele train yet. I know a lot of people have, but
All right, well, moving on, we have Black Adam starring Dwayne The Rock Johnson, the new
Yeah.
DCEU movie.
yeah, Black Adam. From what I know, he basically was Shazam before Shazam. Got the powers. He's killing people in this one, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
He's not much of a superhero, but I guess he never really was in the
Yeah.
comics.
I like that DC is taking these risks, like making a movie like the Batman that isn't in a cinematic universe, and Joker that was standalone, and Black Adam, which seems very unconventional. Taking some kinds of risks that I feel like Marvel wouldn't really do.
Should pay attention to.
And obviously with the Suicide Squad, that was amazing, and giving Zack Snyder the chance to release his Snyder Cut, and even making it rated R, it was
4 hours too.
I kind of put my trust in DC a little bit more than it definitely used to be.
Yeah, we're getting other characters like Pierce Brosnan is Dr. Fate.
Oh, awesome.
Which is cool. We're supposed to get Hawkman and Atom Smasher. I don't know who that is, but so we're getting some other characters to see too. I think Dr. Fate's a cool one. I think that's one a lot of people have been wanting to see. Plus Pierce Brosnan, I'm sure he'll kill it too.
Yeah. Okay, and then the next movie on our list is the sequel to Into the Spider-Verse, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, a movie that everyone's looking forward to. Andrew, isn't Into the Spider-Verse your favorite Spider-Man movie?
I mean, Spider-Man 2, of course.
Oh, okay,
but
yeah.
It's definitely up there. I really enjoy it, and it's just bringing all these different versions of Spider-Man is just cool, no matter what. Just like with No Way Home, seeing our other live-action versions together.
Yeah, it was a fun movie, that first Spider-Verse. Had great animation. I think that alone it should be praised for.
Good soundtrack.
Yeah, it was an enjoyable movie.
Definitely, one of the best things, if not, well, other than the Raimi trilogy, I'd say one of the best things that Sony has done with Spider-Man of recent years without the MCU.
Yeah.
Stuff like that I wish they would stick to more than, like I said, not huge on the Venom franchise. And we'll see how Morbius does, but, with their plans to release a lot of other Spider-Man villain movies, that's not something that I was ever clamoring to see, but I can't wait to see how this one turns out.
Yeah, I'm definitely not counting down the days towards it, but definitely am interested to check it out when it comes out.
I'm looking forward to, because I'm pretty sure Madam Web is going to be in this.
Right, yeah.
We have the 2099.
And the Japanese Spider-Man with the mech.
Yeah.
I think is supposed to be in this.
Yeah,
And
it is.
I don't know if they would actually do this, but a lot of people have talked about maybe the 3 Spider-Men being in it, or maybe Tom Holland.
I don't think they will.
But,
yeah.
We've been getting a lot of that lately, and, with talks of Tobey Maguire possibly being in Doctor Strange 2, I guess we'd have to see. We'll see if they milk it.
Multiverse. It's possible.
All right, and then moving on, we've got Halloween Ends, the conclusion to David Gordon Green's new Halloween trilogy.
Yeah, really enjoyed the 2018 Halloween. Halloween Kills. Decent movie, decent horror movie. I mean, it wasn't anything impressive, but
I had my flaws with both the movies, but at the end of the day, these Halloween movies, other than the original 1978 one, I don't think they were ever masterpieces. They gave me what I wanted to get out of a new Michael Myers movie. They felt like they kind of kept the spirit of that original franchise, while also just upping the ante. He kills a lot of people in those movies, and that's really what I want to see out of these movies. And I always have a blast going to see him in the movie theaters.
Yeah, I'm curious how they'll end it. I mean, will they kill Michael Myers? How will they kill him?
I hope they dial back on the comedy, because
the comedy and the weird plot points that they interject. Both movies have had really bizarre... I mean, not to go into a full review, but each one has had really bizarre moments that happen, usually towards like the middle of the movie. So I hope they cut that out.
Right.
But I just wonder, will this be the end of the franchise for good?
Well, probably not, but
yeah,
I'm still looking
we'll just have to
forward
see
it.
for that.
Okay, and then moving on after that, we have The Flash.
Yeah. So lots of new information's been coming out about this movie. That it supposedly is ending the Snyderverse with it erasing pretty much everything Snyder did, like Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, Justice League.
Which I will go see this movie, and I honestly hope a lot of that isn't true, even though it's looking more and more likely like that might be the case. But Ben Affleck's going to be in the movie. They're bringing back Michael Keaton as Batman.
Yeah, Ben Affleck not being Batman anymore, to me, isn't the end of the world, because we're getting the Robert Pattinson movie and all that. It's really just Henry Cavill's Superman that I think is the big mistake that Warner Brothers is making.
Oh, yeah.
Not keeping and using him. And apparently, after this movie, that Batgirl and then Supergirl are going to kind of take up the mantles, which I don't agree with, and I don't think that's the right move because you're talking about your two most iconic characters within DC.
I mean, yeah, I would really like Henry Cavill to stick around, and I love Batfleck. I think he works as a great Batman for the DCEU, and I wish they'd keep him around, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see what they do. Hopefully, they find a way for them to stick around, but it's looking less and less likely every day.
Yeah, I really hope.
But, I mean, I'm excited to see Michael Keaton back, definitely.
Yeah, I really hope what we've heard, it's not true.
I just don't want more the CW.
No more CW.
Hell no. And then after that, this seems like a big maybe. I think it has a good chance of being pushed back, but Black Panther Wakanda Forever. I'm a little worried about this movie.
This is really touchy because, I mean, first of all, the main topic, Chadwick Boseman.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
And,
with it obviously not going the planned course that they had wanted this movie to go, and there's a lot of talk about, whether they should have recasted him or, just put his character to rest.
I believe they should have recast. Even though it's not an ideal situation, but nothing they do is an ideal thing to do. It is as if Chris Hemsworth died in the middle of his trilogy. You need Thor. These are essential characters to the universe. That T'Challa is very essential to the Marvel universe. You can't just not have him.
I know them going with the decision to not use T'Challa. I can't be mad at them because it was out of respect, but also I do see where people are coming from when they say they should have recasted him to carry on for him because he can't do it anymore, to honor Chadwick Boseman and just how much his character meant to the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe and this franchise.
Yeah, the rumors are that T'Challa will have a son and is going to take up the Black Panther title.
Andrew, do you want to touch on what's going on with Shuri in the movie?
Shuri. Yeah, with her not wanting to get vaccinated.
Well, it's not even just her. Thing. A lot of cast members are testing positive for the Omicron.
But with also the big rumors of her taking on the role as Black Panther. That would be a big hole in the loop.
Right. It seems like this movie has had a lot of behind the scenes just struggles, a lot of halts in production, and obviously with the loss of their main character, it's just it is kind of worrisome. I guess we'll just have to wait and see how it turns out. But to be honest, I am a little bit worried about this movie. I hope they can pull it off. I hope they can find a way to just, honor and respect Chadwick Boseman.
But continue the legacy, the Black Panther legacy, in the right way. But we have heard a lot of...
I don't think it needs to be T'Challa, but if they give it to the right person...
Yeah, it's all about who they give it to. Mm-hmm. But we have heard, this is the exciting part. We've heard stuff about that Namor is supposed to have a prominent role in this one, and as well as there's been a lot of recent stuff about Doctor Doom having a role in this one, which will be very exciting because that's a character I think a lot of us want to see in the MCU. So,
and it could be a big turning point for the franchise. And then moving on, we have the sequel, the highly anticipated sequel to the 2009 movie Avatar, directed by James Cameron.
13 years later. Will it finally come out? I don't know. It feels like... doesn't feel real.
At this point, even if it does, it will not live up to whatever...
See, the thing is, you cannot underestimate James Cameron when it comes to this stuff.
We'll just have to wait and see, because he was the box office king with Titanic for the longest time, and then when it was dethroned, it was by him. Another one of his movies. And he just has a way of just proving people wrong time after time. I don't know much about this sequel. I thought the first Avatar was a good movie. I had fun with it, but to be honest, it wasn't anything that I thought was... I wouldn't consider it one of my favorite movies of all time. Probably not even in my top 100.
I certainly don't think it needs 4 sequels.
No.
But, I guess...
For a lot of people, it wasn't even really memorable. I mean, there was that whole joke where you could go and ask, hey, name one character.
Yeah, who's the main character in Avatar?
And everyone just draws a blank.
Do people really remember Avatar? 13 years ago, that movie came out. Yeah. And I think Avatar is a movie that, when you mention it, they'd be like, oh, yeah. Like I remember seeing that,
Which
but,
is crazy to say with it being the highest grossing movie
Yeah.
of all time.
yeah, it's a movie that just hasn't really carried much of a relevance in recent years.
Right.
It's coming back.
But who knows? Again, don't underestimate James Cameron on this one.
Yeah.
He could pull it off.
Right. And then we have the sequel to Aquaman.
Yeah, I enjoyed the first Aquaman. I mean, it was a fun comic book movie.
I mean, it's the next DCEU movie. I'll always check out whatever comic book movie's coming out. I thought the first Aquaman movie was okay. I really like Jason Momoa as the character. I think he makes him a lot cooler than Aquaman has any right to be.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But, I mean, I don't know much about this movie, but, we'll check it out. Like I said, I'm really satisfied with the risks and the chances the DCU has been taking. And that's all I really have to say about the movie.
I don't have a lot to say. I'm sure it'll be good. I'm sure it'll be James Wan. He seems to be doing a pretty good job with this. Kind of surprising he's moved to this franchise. Normally does horror, but
In a quick movie that I don't think we'll spend really any time talking about, we were just going through the list of movies coming out this year, and one we stumbled across, Monkey Man.
yeah,
I know nothing about this movie, but
Looking forward to
definitely
what we'll
have
see.
to see it.
I don't
off
know.
of
It
the
might be
title
on my
alone.
top 5 most anticipated. Monkey Man. I don't know.
Just off of the title alone.
Yeah. We
Gotta
love
wait for that
monkeys.
trailer.
We love monkeys.
Monkey.
And then coming out is the next movie by Ari Aster. This doesn't have a
Really
set
good.
release date, but it's supposed to come out sometime this year, called Disappointment Boulevard, starring Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. I love Hereditary and I love Midsommar.
Oh, definitely.
Those two movies have become definitely one of my favorite horror movies to come out within the last couple of decades, honestly.
Oh, yeah. Those are beautifully disturbing movies, is I think the best way to describe them.
Mm-hmm.
And, I absolutely adore those films. This is another movie like The Northman where I kind of want to go into it as blind as possible. I don't
Yeah.
care to watch any trailers beforehand. I just want to go in just sometime at night and check it out. I can't wait for this movie. Both of his movies definitely have just made me feel some type of way, and I wouldn't expect anything less from this one.
They just leave me thinking, just what the fuck.
Yeah.
It's plain and simple, just like, what the fuck.
Well, in this movie, this movie is actually kind of a feature-length version of a short film he did called Beau. Or it's like Beau is Afraid or something. Well, I think this movie was supposed to be called Beau is Afraid. The script got leaked online, so they changed the title. And I think it is the same movie, but they're trying to trick people into thinking it's a different one. But I watched the short film, and it's basically about a dude who is paranoid. He thinks everyone around him is... I don't know if he was like schizophrenic or something, but he was a paranoid guy where everything around him seemed threatening, basically. So
that
kinda-
sounds terrifying.
kind of gives you an idea of maybe what is going to center around this movie. And Joaquin Phoenix is supposed to be like a really successful entrepreneur, and we're going to see him throughout the years, is what people have said.
So the next movie up is the sequel to Knives Out. This movie seems like it just has a stat cast of Daniel Craig, Dave Bautista's in the movie, Ethan Hawke's in it, Edward Norton. I loved the first Knives Out movie. Had a lot of fun with it. Andrew, you saw it as well?
Yeah, it was great. And besides the little tidbit and spoilers for anybody that hasn't seen the first Knives Out, but I don't know if you guys heard that iPhone doesn't let villains use iPhones.
Oh, so
Yeah, I've heard about that.
So in the movie, if you just look at who's using what phones,
you can
tell.
find out who it is.
Yeah.
Well,
That is
aren't
interesting.
I think there's a third one coming too, right? Because Netflix made a
Right.
deal.
Netflix
with Ryan
made
Johnson.
a deal. I think it could have been either a 2 or a 3 movie deal they made with Ryan Johnson for some Knives Out sequels. So I guess we'll be seeing those streaming on Netflix when they come out. But that's basically all I have to say. Like, really enjoyed the first one and
I haven't
Obviously.
seen the first one actually, so I really don't know
would.
anything about it.
definitely would recommend it.
Yeah, it was good. I think I've seen it like twice. It was.
Yeah, there's a couple Ryan Johnson movies I want to check out, like Looper. I haven't seen either, and
But that's a great one too.
That's on
Yeah.
Netflix.
it is. Oh well, there you go.
Okay, and this is a movie that I'm not sure is still set to come out this year, but this was the slate for the longest time. The next Indiana Jones movie, Indiana Jones 5, and sad to say, I think this movie is more than likely doomed.
Yeah. Let's face it. Harrison Ford he's in his 80s. He's 80s, right? Or is he in his 70s? He's old.
He's close
old.
to 80.
Yeah.
He's pushing 80, definitely.
He's I just don't really understand because Crystal Skull was kind of like the movie of like he's back.
Yeah, they already brought him back.
Right.
And
And
he's back again.
he's injured himself on the set. He injured himself on the Force Awakens set. I think Harrison Ford needs to just stay away from these big franchise movies because
Action
They're
stars.
trying to kill him.
yeah, they are. And I love the Indiana Jones movies. In fact, I quite enjoy Crystal Skull.
Oh
I
yeah,
never,
it's still a fun movie, even though it's not on the same level of those first three. It's not terrible by any means, I don't think.
No, so I'm definitely interested, but I don't think this movie's needed.
And
by any
I don't
means.
think they should do it without Spielberg. I like James Mangold. I really like Logan and Ford versus Ferrari, but I just don't see this movie really fitting inside the franchise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Who knows? You know?
Okay, and then one that I don't have a whole lot of thoughts about. It's the new Super Mario Brothers movie that's coming out this year, and this is our final entry.
Yeah, I got a
actually.
lot to say about this
boy.
Mario movie. So, for me, growing up, Mario was my shit. You know, I never played the Sonic games because I was Team Nintendo. So I love those Mario games, and I gotta say that the cast for this movie looks absolutely terrible.
It does. It does. Just plain and simple, it does. I mean, Mario is known as an Italian man. So who do they pick to voice him?
Well, Chris Pratt, of course, because he's a huge star.
Oh yeah, the great American Christian boy.
Who will not be doing an Italian accent.
Exactly.
Charlie Day is Luigi.
Mm-hmm.
Not horrible. I could see that. I guess that's the only decent
Yeah, that's not terrible.
actor they chose.
Seth Rogen.
Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong. I think that one really set it off for me. Who's Bowser?
Is it Jack Black?
It's Jack Black.
Like what? Where? Bowser doesn't even talk.
Yeah.
So like,
Well, I mean, I figured they'll
hearing
have
Jack
to talk.
Black's voice as like the introduction to Bowser's voice is gonna be weird.
Oh, just from the cast alone, even if the movie is destined to be a shit show, I can't wait to see it. If I'm gonna be honest, just from what
Well,
we're
I'm just Donkey Kong going, I really can't say I'm really
Maybe
looking
that'll
forward
just
to
be his
that.
donkey noises, you know? Like,
Just, yeah.
his
Who is Toad? Isn't Toad in this movie?
no,
Like, and they got somebody.
yeah, they did get somebody as Toad.
I don't even know.
I don't
It's
remember
probably
that.
terrible too.
well,
And then
It's-
Anya Taylor-Joy is Peach because she's big right now. So.
Yeah,
well.
makes
Anyway,
sense.
So Illumination, though, the same studio that did the Minions. Funny enough.
Oh, so maybe there's hope.
Maybe. There's money, that's for sure.
Might make $1 billion.
Well, anyways, that's all the movies that we saw that we were really intrigued to look into. If there was something that we didn't bring up that you guys are looking forward to, go ahead and let us know, and hope that you guys enjoyed looking forward to this, and let us know what you're looking forward to this
Yeah.
year.
All right.